Hello and welcome to Microchip's Memory Technology series. So what is an SRAM? SRAM stands for Static Random Access Memory. The first SRAM integrated circuit was sold around 1970, about 50 years ago. That means they were introduced within a decade of the very first planar transistors and integrated circuits. And this is what a common SRAM cell still looks like today. 6 transistors make up 1 bit. And these bits are packed together in a row and column array to make up bytes and words of memory as you need. These two inverters feed back on each other. Let's say you write A3 hex into this byte of memory. The address bytes you sent to the memory are decoded so that the word line turns on these two transistors simultaneously. Then these bit lines, true and complement, are driven with your A3 value. The drive strength is set so that the weaker inverters inside the memory cell change to keep your new value. The word line is then turned off and your A3 hex value is saved. When you want to read your A3 value, the address bytes are again decoded to enable this word line, but this time nothing outside the cell is driving these bit lines. So the inverters drive their saved A3 hex content back to your external world. Now you write 2E hex, and again, the stronger bit line drivers flip the SRAM bits, changing the content from A3 hex to 2E hex. These two feedback inverters now capture and hold your new 2E hex value. In SRAMs, these bits can be read over and over or written over and over infinitely without damage to the structure and without losing content. And an SRAM is symmetrical. Reading your A3 hex and then writing your new 2E hex take the same amount of time. You'll see that in the datasheet. But if the IC power is cut or a brownout occurs, the loop's content would change and the content data is lost. Until about 25 years ago, SRAMs only existed as standalone integrated circuits, and every system needed them. It was one of the biggest IC markets on the planet at that time. It talked to the microcontroller or microprocessor, package to package. But over the last 2 decades, as processes have gotten smaller and one IC can hold more and more transistors, every microcontroller has pulled most, if not all, of its needed SRAM memory blocks inside. Anymore, the only time designers buy external SRAM ICs is if they need more SRAM than the microcontroller they select can hold, or it's a cheaper system cost to have it outside for some odd reason, or if their application needs non-volatile SRAM. In that case, they'll put the SRAM outside, so a coin cell battery can preserve the data when power goes away and the microcontroller can be completely shut down. So, though a smaller revenue market than in its heyday, there are still SRAM ICs. For the surviving standalone SRAM integrated circuits, the differences come primarily in the interfaces. Parallel synchronous SRAM focuses on blazing speed. They are pipelined with edge clocks on the inputs and outputs to the IC. Speed is measured in gigabits per second. These are quite expensive and targeted at specialty applications like internet packet routing. Next is parallel asynchronous ICs. These have access times like 25 nanoseconds to 45 nanoseconds. That is pretty slow, but designers value low current here. Low active current, standby current, low sleep current. Why? Because these low currents make asynchronous SRAMs live longer on battery charges. See our video, What is BB-SRAM, to understand what battery-backed SRAMs are all about. The last category is serial SRAM with a SPI interface or a quad SPI interface. A serial interface means about 20 to 30 fewer pins. So these designers use low pin count microcontrollers that don't have 20 or 30 extra pins for an SRAM, but they still need just a small amount of external SRAM or battery-backed SRAM for their target application. Okay, so here is the SRAM Wrap-Up. Value number 1, symmetrical read and write. Value number 2, infinite read and write accesses with no structural damage. And value number 3, SRAM is still widely available in IC form in various formats, speeds, and packages, though availability is dropping because so much SRAM is now on the microcontroller. The disadvantage of SRAM is it is non-volatile. Content will be lost on any power lost to the IC. Note that SRAM pricing is here, more expensive than DRAM, but about half price to any of these non-volatile memories up here at the same density. See our other videos to learn more details about various memory technologies, terms, and other memory concepts.